Hey guys, welcome in. I hope everyone is doing amazing today. We're going to be going over this custom code that I made for somebody. So it was actually a redemption on stream for a custom flag. And if you didn't know, sometimes I will do those. The person sent me a picture that was AI generated and wanted something similar to that as the vibe on their island. Well, as close as we can get in pixel art. So that is what I attempted to do. Now this was so hard. So hard. I know that a lot of times by the time I put something out, there was a short on this, and by the time the short came out, it looked like it was super easy peasy and everything came together beautifully in 1 minute. And the only reason that is because of editing. Honestly, the magic of editing means that you guys don't see all of the different times I change things in order to get to the final product. One of the biggest challenges with this piece is that I was working with only 15 colors and I needed more. I really did. For what I was doing, I really did need the ability to do like more shadows and have a little bit more detail. We did do the best we could. So the premise, it's basically going to be like a cup of ginger tea. That was the idea behind this, and I do think it came out rather cute. This was a color scheme picked out by Eden, who is the person who redeemed this, and this is the color scheme that she chose, but she wanted a little hint of pink, which I do add in later. So it's going to be like this cup of tea, and then there's going to be some little pink cherry blossoms on it, which we'll get to. In the beginning, right off the bat, I was struggling with the border and the roundness of the border, making it look round, because it is hard to make a circle look like a circle when you're working with a bunch of squares, you know what I mean? So we had to turn the squares into like an actual circle, and that was a little challenging. The other challenge I had was that the background was the same color as the item, so making it stand out from the background was really hard. I did end up changing the background color or offering it in another background color just to kind of show how different it would be if it was on a different background, and she ended up going with the other background color, the white one. But I did make it, this was the way it was requested at first, and at the first request had the background color being that same kind of light aqua color. It's a beautiful color, don't get me wrong. I really did like this color, and I love the way it looked with the gold tea and with the flowers on it. It just looks so pretty, and the way the colors meshed together. It was a really great color palette. The hints of green made the pink look really nice towards the end, and then the green flowers kind of remind me a little bit of like my growing up. So I grew up in a Hispanic household. My grandma loved plants. Our walls were like this color aqua, and she had like a wall of plants up against it, and it kind of reminded me of that. So it was very cozy to me. Even though the color palette probably doesn't go very well, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing, it still can actually look good in small hints. Granted, growing up I didn't have small hints of it, but in small hints in this particular custom code, it did look really cute together. So I played around with this border, I don't know, half a dozen times. It took forever. So these are kinds of the things that I don't think I show very often. Altogether, this custom code took 3 hours. And I was on a video chat in Discord and just talking to people while I was working on it. And I was really, really struggling with this one. Just kind of copying the picture or trying to make it look like it was inspired by that picture, but having the colors be so difficult, and then the shapes not wanting to mesh together, the AI not wanting to take the shapes for what they're supposed to be, because the way the AI merges color cells together in this game really is dependent on the similarity or difference of the colors that you're trying to mesh together. And there were colors that I wanted to stand out that would sink into another color, and then there were other colors that I wanted to mesh in together that would stand out a little too much and then look a little bit blocky. So getting a balance of all of that was really, really hard. But here's the fun part though. I put these little cherry blossoms in it, and I think that they came out really cute. So I put one inside the tea. I know, don't ever do that, you guys. Probably not the best idea or the most healthy idea to go to your garden and pick some flowers off a tree and throw it in your tea. But I think it looked really cute, and that's what matters, right? Aesthetics above anything, really. It's Animal Crossing, so it didn't have to be conventional. And then I put two more blossoms down below. I played around with the colors of these quite a few times before I think I went back and I settled on just doing them in pink. I think pink came out the nicest out of all of them. I did try to do them in other colors, but I ended up just, going with the pink all the way. And I think that that was really the best option for this. It ended up looking a lot better. So over here, I don't know if you guys know a lot about shadows, but there's always a place where the sun is hitting, right? Where the light is hitting the hardest. It's always on one side. So I was trying to indicate that the light was coming from the right side. And so the biggest shadow was going to be over on the left. However, that doesn't mean that the right is without shadows. Because of the depth and dimension of the saucer, there's still going to be a smaller shadow underneath the saucer, so that you would see like a little bit of a tiny shadow underneath. There's no way to do things like bounce lights and stuff like that on this pixel art. I mean, there is, but it would just take way too much work, and it probably would look a little bit off just because of the number of pixels that we have to work with in this. I did go through and I adjusted the colors a little bit because it wasn't looking very tea-like, and I changed that up a little bit. And then I changed these leaves up a little bit because I just didn't like the way they were sitting over the edge. And then we came up with something that I think I was almost able to live with. The only thing I was struggling still was with the border around the saucer. And I ended up solving that problem by just going darker and making it a very dark one. I was going to put a cinnamon stick up in the cup, but then I thought that would make it way too busy. It just didn't look like there was room for that up there. But we went ahead and we did like a dark brown border around the edge, and then I went back to white. I think I went back to brown too. Yeah. So I went around in circles with this, and I think we settled on the brown border, and I do like the way it looks. I think it came out really cute. Honestly, this entire design to me came out really cute. I loved it in the end. I hated it while I was doing it, but I did love it in the end. It was a hard one, y'all. I don't know if I would recommend it, but actually, yes, I would, because now I have the pixels. So if you guys want to copy my pixels, then feel free to go ahead and copy it if you would like. But trying to do these from scratch for the very first time is very, very challenging. I did a lot of deleting, a lot of erasing. You guys don't always get to see that by the time I put out any type of tutorials. You don't really see all of the edits that I've gotten to make, or all of the things I tried before I found something that worked for it. And I wanted to show a little bit of that to you guys and show you guys that, like, really, yes, anybody can do custom codes and anyone can do pixel art. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it just takes a little bit of practice and you get the hang of it. And eventually, if you do it with the same tool over and over again, you will get the hang of it in Animal Crossing as well. So if you keep practicing within the game, you'll start learning where the AI is going to put like the merged cells and when they're going to shape it a certain way. And you start getting the hang of that, and it becomes a lot easier to you. So I'm just trying to figure out the border and how to make this cup stand out a little bit more. So we're just copying what we did on the bottom. Honestly, I think I changed it out again, to be honest. I don't think I kept this version of it, but we did work on it quite a bit. Yeah, we see it totally changed out again. And this is what I'm talking about. All of this stuff, it just gets changed over and over again. Sometimes a code like this, that'll take me 3 hours. What I'll end up doing is I'll take the template of the code once it's finally done, and I'll just remake it for the video. So please, if you're ever feeling a little discouraged that you can't do something on the fly like that, just know that I struggle as well sometimes. And we just keep trying and see what works best for us and try and find our own voice and our own style within decorating in Animal Crossing, correct? So, this is what we ended up coming up with. And I really like the final product. I think it came out really pretty. It was a heck of a journey getting there. Most custom codes do come a little easier than this one, I will admit. This one was particularly harder than most, but most of them do come a little bit easier than this one. I don't know if that helps or not to know, but we're just gonna do some shading around the edges, and I'm gonna let you watch that really quick, and I'll be right back as we end. Here we are with what's the semi-permanent background, and we're just going to clean up the edges just a little bit and finish off the little finishing touches. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys so much. A special shout out to all of you, my channel members. This is for Teddy Grams and above. So a special shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. You guys help me continue doing this, and I'll always appreciate you for that. I hope everyone has a beautiful day or night, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.